All right, today is June 25th, 2026. It is 3:23 p.m. This is video number 2. All right, so video number 1 didn't have too much, I think 2 tweets, and I went on a long rant, so it became too long. By the way, yesterday I posted on my community board where I took some pictures when I go places, and I took them with my phone, so I had to fix them on Photoshop. So I turned them into jigsaw puzzles. So if you want to help support my channel, I truly appreciate it, because YouTube is really it's not doing anything. Like I usually say at the end of my videos, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. And then if you want to support my channel, donate to my PayPal or Cash App, you could do that. And also, both of my channels, PYTE and this one, I create membership. That's another way you could help support my channel. But if you can, a one-time payment or whatever, you could do PayPal or Cash App, or help support my shop and find something, the jigsaw puzzles, whatnot. I'll include more different items, but the reason I'm bringing this is that YouTube is making some changes. It says here, we're updating your pricing for new members to reflect latest exchange rates. Review before it adjusts August 17. You also have the option to update pricing for new members once every 12 months. I don't plan on changing it. If you feel like you want to support my channel, like I said, there's PayPal and Cash App. And those who become members, you just know you're doing it as a way to support my channel. I'm not doing anything fancy. Occasionally, I'll do videos on the side. Let's say, for instance, this past week, I went a little getaway. It wasn't much. And I record some stuff, and I just put it together for you guys. That's it. Nothing fancy. All right, let's go on X. All right, so this is the first tweet. The FBI Los Angeles and the Central District of California arrested Jeannie, 57, of Torrance. She is charged along with 2 other defendants, Oren David Shashaw, 59, of Venue, and Abram Shen, 66, of Corona, with a hospice fraud scheme that caused Medicare to pay nearly $27 million in fraudulent claims. Shashaw allegedly exploited deceased Medicare beneficiaries by collecting their personal health data and medical record through meeting with surviving relatives. He then directed staff to use those identities to create I think that meant false, backdated hospice records claiming evaluation and terminal certification that never occur. What in the name? Let's listen to this. I'm not gonna go in the comments. You cool? Pause. All right. What is that? Those folks running among in California, a few public officials of Asian origin have been arrested for fraud, like their continental Euro cousins, fraud and culture. They've also elected a Chinese national who doesn't speak any English to public office in California. The fix is it. Okay, I don't know anything about that, but I think the reason I put it is the ripple effect of things. Trying to go after black, there's the ripple effect. Let's listen to him. It's almost 2 minutes, and then I'll go to the next tweet.
Feds just indicted 3 people for hospice fraud that came up to $27 million. These 3 people are Oren, the owner of the 4 Los Angeles hospice companies, Abram and Jeannie Chu, a 57-year-old mortuary employee from Torrance. Here's how this scheme worked. Oren allegedly targeted deceased Medicare patients. He got their personal health data and medical records directly from Jeannie, who exploited her job at a local mortuary to access the information. Then Oren then ordered his staff to create fake backdated medical records. They enrolled these already deceased people into hospice care to make it look like they were receiving terminal evaluations before they died. The cash flow was pretty insane. Orient allegedly paid Jeannie and Abram illegal cash kickbacks of $1,000 to $3,000 for every single deceased person's identity they handed over. For living patients, he paid them off with bribes like cash, groceries, alcohol, TVs, and furniture just to keep them enrolled. Between 2021 and 2026, this group successfully scammed Medicaid out of nearly $27 million.
Wow.
So this scam was going on for 5 years. They was taking advantage of dead people and living people. So she got the dead people from the mortuary that she worked at and just exploited them. Why did it take so long, California? Why did it take so long to bust these three individuals? They were doing this for 5 years, from 2021 to 2026. This is insane, y'all.
Alright, so that's that. Let's go to the next tweet. Unbelievable. Next one. Okay, this picture, when I saw it, it just breaks my heart to think other human being feel like this is the way they should put another human being. The amount of cramp just looking at this, cramp your arm, your leg. This is what our ancestors went through. We need, when these racists keeps on doing their nonsense, we need to call on our ancestors who went through this to help us over here to deal with the current version of those races. No other race is told to forget their history. My goodness, it's painful to watch. Yeah, that's all. I'm not gonna go in the comment, but when I saw it, the first time I saw it, I was like, my God, other human being feel like this is the way to put another human being in that position. Normally, when you stay in a certain position for so long, your body, it's like, oh my God, I don't even want to imagine it. All right, next tweet. Reconstruction was a pivotal and turbulent chapter in our nation's history, and its consequences are still being felt today with, who's that? HD Media, okay, Higher Ground Media. Reconstruction, the unfinished promise. I hope folks can rediscover an essential part of our past and remember that even in moments of deep conflicts and contradiction, persistence and perseverance remain powerful sources of hope. All right, let's listen to it.
The reason Reconstruction is such a fascinating story is here's a moment, the first real moment since the founding, in which this idea of perfecting the Union is attempted in a fairly significant way. And it peters out.
Yeah.
It doesn't get all the way there. But what it does is it leaves all these embers. It leaves all these ideas and possibilities and points in certain directions that then allow future generations to draw on and inspires others. And it gives us a sense of how this process of perfecting the Union, of creating a true democracy, is not this static project where, okay, we got the words on the page, now it's done, but is rather this continuous exercise.
You know what crossed my mind as I'm listening to Obama saying this? There's a video I put, and one of the videos I did earlier this morning, where this person was saying something like about Martin Luther King, what he did, pretty much discredit Martin Luther King. I disagree with that person. Go to that old video. I say some stuff. But the thing is that the way that I see it is like a receipt. It's a receipt to say, this generation tried this humane, sensible approach to deal with those racists of those current racists now, their ancestors back then, who were, it could be their grandfathers, they're probably still alive. But Martin Luther King was trying to approach them in a humane, sensible, ethical way. All right? So every other groups, let's say maybe Malcolm X, the list goes on with people in our history who have tried to work with those races, to make them come to their senses, to to let them know the way you're thinking, you're not accepting us. It's not right. It's not just. It's not a humane way. But they refuse. They refuse. So come to our time, and perhaps my kids, grandkids, time, if they're consistent, okay, those races continue with their barbaric way. At least we could give them an example or receipt and say, look, we try for centuries, try to work with you, but you refuse. Each time we come to you in peace, but you come back in a freaking barbaric way. So whatever you're going to get from us, you deserve it because you refuse. This earth was made for everybody, not just your kind, and then you want to destroy everybody else. So pretty much that's the way that I see it. For MLK to do his approach his specific way, that's the way he saw it. That's his vision. All right. So what is the next one? Our generation right now said we're boycotting a different way. We're not gonna spend our money in places that don't treat our kids the right way. So the next, it goes on and on. Every generation, pretty much, African American is leaving a legacy of rich, of understanding. Yeah, I know they're trying to paint black people as bad, and don't get me wrong, there are some bad apples in every group, but the ones who's educating themselves, going to school, work their butt off to make sure they are educated or their kids are educated and things like that, we're leaving a rich, strong, powerful legacy for our kids, so they could stand on and said, look, this is what my parents did despite all the barriers you were putting in front of us. Alright? So that's that. And however the next generation decided to combat in those races, at least they will not try the Martin Luther King way anymore because it didn't work. All right, don't keep on banging your head on the wall and expect different result. Martin Luther King tried. That's an example, a receipt. Don't do it again because they still don't get it. Whatever, you go on the street and boycott. Hey, look at in 2020, Black Lives Matter. Did they do anything? Nope. They come back and look what they did to the Palestinian. It's like the more we try to reach these people in a humane, sensible way, they come back worse. They're showing us who they are. They are barbaric. They are monsters. So it's receipt, pretty much. That's that. I went off with that. Next one. I mean, we could see the action. The action speak louder than words. It's not like I'm lying. You could see it on my lifetime. I can't believe they did it. I was talking to my cousin about this. It's like, I can't believe the Holocaust. These people, they went through it. I was like, no, it's not the same group. Okay, they took the identity of the Jews, they make it their own. The Zionists, they use the identity of the Jews they persecuted, and they use the suffering of the Jews that they burn and things like that, make it their own. So they use that as a shield so they could hide behind it, and at the same time they continue doing their freaking barbaric, destructive behavior. They cannot be the same Jews. They cannot be the same Jews. Okay? Anyway, this is the next tweet. Who is that? Gunny speaks out. Has a message for Donald Trump. Monuments are supposed to honor principles, sacrifice, and service. Not a single politician. The Arc of Trump. Oh, is he going to do some nonsense like that? Arc of Trump is a slap in the face to all veterans and military families. It's time to speak out against this. Will be monstrosity before it's too late. I've been trying to stay away from some of those crazy topics that's going on because each time you look at in the US, distraction. I learned from the UK because they want to do the bigger thing. Okay, whatever the bigger thing is, let's say, for instance, what they want to do to Albania. Thank God Albania is standing up. What they want to do, one of the strongest force in the Middle East right now is Iran. So they want to do their destruction to get rid of Iran so they could roam through the Middle East and turn the Middle East like the United States. Keep in mind, I've been saying this for a very long time. Each corners, each areas in the Middle East is gonna be a state, and then their buddies who's so hungry for money with oil, they're gonna control those, make it turn like the United States, pretty much. But Iran is getting in their way. But anyway, so why did I bring all of this? So is Trump trying to create a monument? Oh God, it's a monument of stupidity. I mean, he has golf courses. Why doesn't he create these things in his property? He wants to be applauded for stupidity. Oh God, a minute and 26 seconds.
As a Marine veteran, I don't want a giant monument with a golden figure on top to honor any politician, especially not Trump. All right, I'm standing here at the Four Freedoms Monument in Evansville, Indiana, because monuments are supposed to honor principles, sacrifice, and service, not a single politician. But the proposed Arc de Trump is to be constructed right next to the Arlington National Cemetery.
What is it? In art history, Arc de Triomphe, I think it's in France. It's used to, from my understanding, is that when the country come from battle, especially if they win, the Arc de Triomphe is there for those soldiers to pass through as a way of, their triumph, right? Let me pause for a second. Okay, so what I type on Google is, why did the French build Arc de Triomphe? Okay, the French built the Arc de Triomphe to honor the military achievement of the French armies and to commemorate the soldiers who fought and died for France during the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars. Okay, so he wants to do that, but he's dealing with, what's that country I just mentioned, Iran right now. We're not winning. So what Arc de Triomphe wants to build? Arc de Failure? Oh my goodness. All right, let's continue. I'm surprised I remember some of this stuff I learned from history of architecture. I'm surprised, to tell you the truth.
Why there? And why now? Or why at all? Arlington is sacred ground. More than 400,000 service members, veterans, and their families are buried there. It's a place of reflection and remembrance and humility, something our commander-in-chief and his loyalists know nothing about. Now they want a massive 250-foot triumphal arch dominating the skyline, towering over the graves of those who actually gave everything, obstructing views and pulling attention away from the true heroes who defended this nation. The men and women who sacrificed themselves for our beloved country are already honored at Arlington.
Well, thinking about it now, as I'm editing it, maybe he is winning based on, remember, the South never gave up. They lost. So he wants to build that. Let me collect my thought. Like I just read, Arc de Triomphe in France was a way to the triumph of the soldiers, right? So the way those racists in the South, in America, in the United States, who wants to continue the barbaric, inhumane type of things, the slavery and all of that. So you see the switch that the country is going through. So it might be for that, commemorate the South for the triumph of making the rest of the country. I mean, he's not completely there yet, but it's getting there when you look at it, the way the country is turning. Maybe that's why he wants to do that. So if you understand the Arc de Triomphe, why they do that, so he wants to create his version over here, even though well-minded people, Americans, see the failure of his presidencies, but in the barbaric racism kind of thing, it might be a triumph. Maybe that's his goal. I don't know. Well-minded Americans, white, especially white Americans, need to speak up. Okay, they need to speak up.
We don't need to elevate one man above the country he was elected to serve. So stop gaslighting us into thinking this is about celebrating our 250th anniversary or beautifying the area. Let me make this abundantly clear. Real patriotism remembers the fallen first. It doesn't build ego trips on their doorstep. The country, the fallen heroes, veterans, and families all deserve better.
The thing that I like of some of those people who are speaking out is not just African American, who's, kudos to many other groups who speaking out, unlike the UK, and just letting idiots speak stupidity, is that Americans are speaking out. Let's say Midas Touch, for instance, kudos to them. And there's some other YouTubers, Too Raw to Real, Tabitha, there's some other, that young man, not too long ago, he was on CNN. What's his name? Oh, he's sometime for Midas Touch as well. During leading to the 2024 election, he used to go on the field talking to MAGAs. Oh, I forgot his name. Okay, him as well. So many people are speaking out against the stupidity. What is it? I sort of blame it to some minorities. Let's say the Hispanic, especially the Cuban, the Mexicans who voted for that. Okay, even though it was so clear. So all these other groups who are well-minded, who speaking out against the stupidity, kudos to them. All right, you have a platform. You're speaking. Share your thought. Not everybody is gonna agree with you. Yes, there's gonna be some backlash sometimes, because sometimes when you're in the midst of your conversation, you're deep into it. Sometimes you said things. This is why I don't do live stream, because sometimes I said things I need to check myself, and sometimes I still miss them. But the thing is that, unlike the UK, Americans are speaking up against the stupidity that's going on. And because of that, what caused that is because African American did not take the bait of Trump, because from the beginning, many of them, some of those people who are speaking, they didn't see the nonsense that was happening. It's because African Americans stood still. When I say stood still, they're not really standing still and do nothing. They're minding their own business, taking care of themselves, their health, their family, their loved one, whatnot. They didn't participate in the chaos, the marching, the this and that. So they mind their own business. It's because of that many other groups are seeing what is happening, what the Trump administration is doing, because before they can't see it. And not only now that they're seeing it, they are feeling it, because some of those policies that Trump administration is putting, it's affecting them physically, their family, their loved one, whatnot. Okay, so that's that. In order for those people who are seeing what the current administration is doing to the American people, because African American did not participate in some of the baiting, okay, Trump was putting out there to get African American out there to protest. African American did not take the bait, and because Trump was trying to use African American as a distraction, okay, while they are locking them up, do all sort of them to prevent them from going to the voting booth. That's the key thing here, voting booth. If you look at the 2024 election, 92% of African American women voted for the right way. Okay? Some of you may not like Kamala Harris, but let's just say better of the two evils. So to prevent that kind of a number against him is to lock them up, so keep them away from the voting booth. So now they're doing different tactics. All right? So yeah, I just need to add that part, to get people, especially African American, away from the voting booth, because they will vote the right way for better of the country as a whole. So the bait, instigating, creating policies to get them upset and protest, and then send his boys to not only attack them, arrest them, and then keep them locked up until the election or whatnot. Okay, he needs to pass through the next election in order for them to establish whatever rule of law they have in store and, getting ready to do. It's very sad, very sad. And the reason also I said kudos to African American, because if African American if African American did not read Project 2025 to alert others of the nonsense they put on the document, and for them not to go on the street as well to protest, because we're not dealing with the same type of people. They have no feeling. They are laser focused to their objective. All right. So kudos to African American who not only read the Project 2025 and put the word out for those who do not have time. In past videos I've said sometimes there are families working 2 or 3 jobs. They don't have time for all of those stupidity that is being out there. Instead of these people to work, when I say people, I mean the politician, when they get in office, to work to make things easier, but instead they muddy up the water, making things more confusing, make people's lives miserable. So those other families who's working several jobs to make ends meet, feeding the family and all of that, they do not have time to pay attention to all of the sabotage that is happening. So for those who took their time to put the proper information out there, kudos to them. Okay? That's that. Let's go to the next tweet. Because many, those busy families who don't have time, they took the time to look for information, or when they come across information, they share it. Despite, the Trump administration, along with Rupert Murdoch and all those people who have control of the media, they were trying to blind the people. Okay? It works so well in the UK. Put stupid information out there to distract people, but it's with the kind of information that we have with YouTube, different platform, people took it upon themselves instead of putting stupid information out there. Yes, there are battles putting stupid information, but there are some who took their time and put the proper information to alert others. All right, this is the next tweet. Breaking, hell yes. A federal judge permanently bars Trump from implementing the lion's share of his voter suppression executive order, scoring a massive win for our democracy. And I remember right after the 2024 election, there were some lawyers with Midas Touch, and I don't know if they are part of Midas Touch or they were interviewing them. I don't remember. They were saying now all these lawyers, they need to come together because they have to keep on calling the nonsense Trump is putting out there to take them to court. So they made the conscious decision. Many of those executive orders need to go to court. They saw it from the beginning. And many of these executive orders, they were already prepared. You think it's Trump is vote them? No. People's special interests, they want certain things to be added there so they could do their stupidity. They voted for him, and all he had to do is sign them. Oh, God. All right. This has MAGA scrambling in panic. U.S. District Court Judge Dennis Casper has ruled that the White House cannot force people to show documentary proof of citizenship when they register to vote. Are you sure this is what they say? Okay, White House cannot force people to show documentary proof of citizenship when they register. That could be, if this is the case, then that's a problem. Because I did respond to a comment when I post a different version of that. Let me see if I could find it on my community board. I said when you get your driver's license, when you put in, not register to vote. How will I say that? To put register to vote. You have to show your citizenship. So let me see something. I'm gonna go on my community board. There's something that I post. I think it was here. I responded to something. There's my comment here. All right, this person says here, I'm not American, but if this news is true, thank God for the black and brown communities in America. Donald Trump and his evil government administration are doing everything possible to destroy black people, but the Donald Trump administration like to go to African nations and take their natural resources. I can't thank the judge enough. I do not know what the okay, well, I guess if I had finished read the other thing. They still have to show their birth certificate. It is a must. Birth certificate, and what else they have to show? Their social security and whatnot before they do that. But once you show all those proof, when you go vote, all you need to show, once your name is already on the list, all you need to show is, let's say, some sort of an ID, either your passport or driver's license or whatever other ID you have. But to put your name on the list so you could vote, all these other information need to be shown, your birth certificate and things like that, your citizenship, okay? So this is what I wrote here. Before anyone can vote in the United States, they must first register to vote. To get on the voter rolls, individuals generally have to provide information that verifies their identity and eligibility under their state requirement. For most Americans born in the U.S., documents such as birth certificate, social security number, and other identifying record are used at various stages of obtaining official identification. To get a driver's license, passport, or other government issue ID, a person typically have to prove documentation proving who they are. By the time many people arrive at the voting booth, they have already submitted various forms of identification and supporting documents at different points in their lives. In states that require voter ID, voters may be asked to present a driver's license, passport, or another accepted form of identification before casting their ballot. I haven't read the President Trump's executive order, so I cannot comment on its specific provision. However, whenever you hear discussion about voter identification or documentation, it's important to remember that obtaining most official documents in the United States already requires individuals to verify their identity through multiple forms of documentation. Okay? So the moment you are registering to vote, you have to show your birth certificate, where you were born, and all of that. This is the initial thing. Then when it's time to vote, your name is already on the list. They already did the background, if you are a citizen or not. You don't need to work with your citizenship papers or your birth certificate. But your ID, let's say your driver's license, your passport, something like that, that will be good enough. Because before your name is even on the list, they did all the necessary documentation. That's what I mean by that. All right, so I was here. U.S. District Court Judge Dennis Casper has ruled that the White House cannot force people to show documentary proof of citizenship when they register to vote. Okay, as anyone who has taken even a cursory look at the issue understands, this was never really about making sure that only citizens vote. Study after study after study have found zero evidence for mass voter fraud. Well, the frauds that they usually find, it's usually the Republicans. Okay? The only people who voted in this country are citizens. That's it. Yeah. These things already been checked out. Trump's order is about throwing up one more hurdle in front of the ballot box. Republicans want to turn away voters who can easily obtain IDs or who forget their IDs at home. They're also working to shut down offices where people can obtain such IDs. So the plan is require IDs, then make it harder to get them. They're doing this because Republicans know how radioactive their political platform has become. All they have to offer is insane culture war, screeching while Americans are clamoring for a solution to the rising cost of living, unaffordable health care, and an end to pointless foreign wars. The executive order will have also absurdly preventing mail-in ballots from being counted if they arrive after election day, regardless of their postmark date. Judge Casper stated that the Constitution gives states the power to regulate election, not the federal government, and it does not grant the president any specific powers over election. I don't even know why he's doing all of this stuff that he's doing. Where are Congress? Many of the things that he has done, he went over his duties. He's acting like he's a freaking king. This is why so many people are upset. Okay, generation of Americans fought tirelessly for the right to vote, and we honor their legacy by protecting the right against anyone who tries to undermine it, said New York Attorney General Letitia, celebrating the fact that the judge stopped an unconstitutional attempt to seize control of our election. This is a huge cause for celebration and an important reminder that Republicans will rather steal election than actually win votes, because their loyalty will always belong first and foremost to powerful cooperation and the Epstein class. Please, there's a heart here, and share. Thanks, Judge. All right, so that's that. I think it's in this channel where when Biden got in office, couple things he was doing is he was putting a lot of judges. Majority of them were black judges in position, because he knew what was gonna happen. They would do the right thing. All right, so that's that. I'm not gonna go in the comment. Next tweet. Okay, so before your name is on the list, you already did all the steps to show that you can vote. It's when you go vote where you don't need to show all of the other things. Your name is already on the list. I mean, some of the things that Trump is doing, it highlights the problem that we have. So if we do get back on track somehow, it's to fix some of those things that he has tapped into, because there's issues there. I'm gonna stop this video. The next video that I start, it will be this. I talk too much. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. And check my shop. I said that, I think, at the beginning. I put pictures of places that I go, turn them into jigsaw puzzles. That's the way you go help support my channel. Okay, I'll try to integrate that particular shop with my YouTube channel. I need to do that. All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness, and please come back.
that I'd hoped for all my life.
You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.